Murushko Hageti League. Welcome back to another episode of Guru Rankings. This time we are ranking for week 12 of the current season. And boy, what a season it has been. It's been wins and losses, ups and downs, so many meltdowns, lots of crying and bitching by the league, but we're here. There's only a few weeks left. We're getting a good idea about what the playoffs might look like. So yes, it's a good time to bring in the Guru Rankings. Now, for those of you who are new to Guru Rankings, we rank on three main components. Firstly, we have wins on the season. Secondly, we have roster strength provided by our good friends at Fantasy Pros, not sponsored yet. And then finally, and most importantly, we have Juju. Now, what is Juju? How is it calculated? Juju is the kinetic energy response from the fantasy gods to the league members, depending on whether they have been good or bad. So if you do positive things for the league, like be a good league member, make good trades, be active in the community, this gives you positive juju from the fantasy gods. And then on the other side, if you are a shit league member, let's just say, for example, like Tony Park United, where there's lots of complaining and crying and just making shit trade offers, not providing to the community of the league, these things give you negative juju rankings. So with that in mind, let's jump in. At number 12, we have Tony Pike United Cursed Forever. Good name considering what is happening. Tony Pike United, 2 wins. Roster is 6.7, not too bad. Juju of 5. Now, Tony Pike suffered many negative juju over the year, from leaving the league and just being the laughing stock of the league in general. I could go on for hours about all the things that has brought his juju down. But I will give credit. Over the last 1 to 2 seasons, TPU has been on an upward trajectory. I'm really liking the new rebrand of TPU. I think he's doing well as not so much being the villain, but just adding so much positiveness to the league. Yes, I think it's a successful rebrand. Unfortunately for TPU, the balance of all the shit that he has done over the years has not improved his juju rating high enough that we even see the start of this season. I think it was 2 or 3 losses in the most heartbreaking fashion for TPU, which just shows that the one thing holding him down is his negative juju, and he's doing all he can to improve it, but it's just not enough. Like, if you reverse those 3 games and give him wins, and all of a sudden he's got a playoff team. So yeah, I don't know what the next thing forward is, but TPU needs to do something dramatically to resolve this juju situation, because if it sits at a 5 and it can't get past that, then unfortunately he's not going to do any damage and he will sit at the bottom of the league. Okay, but for saying that, TPU, he does have Bijan. Bijan can win games. He's on a shit team, but he can win games, and TPU has a good attitude. Now that goes a long way, so he just needs to keep going and fight the Juju curse. Okay, now coming in at number 11, one of the more disappointing teams for the season, we have Frankston Shardies. Mind you, on a 4-game lose streak that has now seen him drop out of the top 6 after sitting comfortably first for, it felt like forever at the start of the season, but it's just been an epic free fall. Shadis has 6 wins on the year, the 7.5 team strength, so pretty good, but a juju of 2. And it once again is that juju of 2 that brings Shadis all the way down to number 11 on the Guru rankings. Now, why does he have a juju of 2? It's just something about the Shadis that I cannot get on board with. The team, the manager just seems to be like a little bit annoying, and constant messages about bullshit that don't even matter to the league. He's always pumping up his team and thinking he's the best, but it's just nothing there. And the thing is, he has no evidence. He has no proof to back up his claims that Shardies is King Dick. He's never done any damage to the league and has just been a very mid to bad team this whole time. And now we're seeing, with the collapse of the recent Shardis, I think the face of the real Shardis, which is Guru rank number 11, where he belongs. I would love for him to sneak into playoffs somehow, because I think it would be an easy win, a nice matchup in playoffs. But in the current state, I don't see that happening. What I do like about Shardis, there's two things that I really like about Shardis. One, Brandon Aubrey. Now, I fucking love that Shardis invested heavily in the goat kicker, especially because he has opportunity to break the record. So that is big tick for Shardis, goal kicker number 1. And another thing I like about Shardis is he has Antonio Brown on his team. Now, I know Antonio Brown has been in the bad books lately, maybe facing jail, maybe shooting some bitches, we don't really know, but I love Antonio Brown, and so big plus to Shardis for having him on his team. Biggest dislike for Shardis is just the franchise is annoying. It's an annoying franchise with barely any supporters. I don't think anyone wants to see the Shardis do well or the Shardis win. It's just nothing going for him. No one can root for them. I think everyone loves this collapse that's happening, so that's why Shardis is in at number 11. Okay, now coming in at number 10, we have the Falcon with the tiny hat. Falcon has 2 wins on the year, which is horrible. 7.5 Fantasy Pros team roster, which is pretty good, and a Juju of 7, which is also pretty good, giving him a total score of 16.5. Now his Juju is quite good. There's barely any bad things that we can say about Falcon. He's not a threat, so he doesn't pose as a threat in any way that makes you scared or threatened. He's just sitting at the bottom of the ladder. Some weeks he puts up a good score. His team can beat you on any day, but it usually doesn't. Yeah, so he's just kind of chilling there. He's still providing to the league. He's okay to trade with. If you come with a good offer, there's usually a fair back and forth. Although he is pretty quiet at the moment, he's pretty fair. So I think a 7 Juju is pretty good for him. What I like about the team, there's 2 things I like. JSN, oh my god, what a good pick JSN has been for Falcon. I think without him, he would be in many trouble. And then the second thing I really like about the Falcon is the kicker again. He has the Master Bates, the Detroit Lions kicker, who carries so much bonus Juju for having him on your team. So that is a good plus and can probably take Falcon to a deep run in the retard ball. By run I mean winning, so running the other way, not going far in the retard ball, finishing quickly like first round. You know what I mean. What my biggest dislike for the Falcon is the team is not scary. Like, I don't feel intimidated if I'm coming up against the Falcon. There's no one on that team that I'm scared of playing. If that's the case, then you're probably not going to go very far. Okay, now coming in at number 9, we have the Backfire bandwagon. Backfire has 3 wins on the year, has a team roster score of 6.9, nice, and has a Juju score of 7. Now this Juju score was probably sitting around a 3 to a 5 at the start of the season. Once again, he has been a very good team in recent years in the regular season, but then when the playoffs come, it's just a collapse, and then this year it's just collapsed from the start. So he's still a good league member. He's a great treasurer that boosts up the Juju score. He's good at collecting the monies and making sure that everything running smoothly. So we like that about BB. Also, BB is going to have a baby, which means little baby is coming from his pelach. And what this does is it gives you daddy strength. So we might not see it this year with just a slight boost in Juju, but I am expecting next season with the fully baby in the world that he should have good daddy strength, and that should give him a little bit of an advantage. And I don't think that anyone would disagree that he probably needs that right now. Okay, What I like about BB, oh, there's one thing I nearly forgot. What I really like about BB is, again, his kicker. He has Little. Little should have stayed on the Guru's team, but he was underperforming, so he get let go. And then it goes on to, as we all knew would happen, predictedly would be that he broke the field goal record, which we know in our league gives you 100 plus bonus. Oh my god, can you believe it? Can you believe the week that Little breaks the record? He's on the waivers, on no team. No team gets the 100 plus bonus. Oh my god, especially with 6th place being for most points, that could be very, very valuable. But no, but regardless, what do we see after this? We see BB end up taking a chance on Little, and now he is a starting kicker again, rightly so. Well, the thing is, when he broke the record, he broke it by so many lengths. So what we know is that Little has a good chance of breaking it not once, but maybe twice more in the next few weeks. And if that happens, BB all of a sudden could be a playoff team. So I like the punt on Little. What I dislike is he's just BB as a franchise, not aggressive. It's just like the team lost a few games and then he was happy just to roll over and take it. Never really felt confident that he could make a push for it, win some games. We saw other teams that had the same amount of wins actually change some things and go on bigger runs. BB was just happy to say, oh good, I would try again next year. And we don't like to see this. It's weak and soft. Coming in at number 8, we have Quences Pats, QP. QP has quite a few wins. He has 7 wins on the season. He has a team roster score of 7.1, which is okay. But what lets down QP is his Juju score of 3. Now, QP, I feel like he just does not do anything to increase his Juju rating. How often does he come up with trades? I don't know. I don't think in the last 5 years that QP has proposed one single trade to me. He might make one every now and then when something's maybe been offered to him and there's a back and forth, but there's just no hunger and there's no spirit at Quences Pats. I also know the negative juju from when the league first started by maybe manipulating some of the teams and some of the numbers. I don't know what really happened, but I know that there was some shady things going on and it's just got a bad taste in the reputation of QP. I don't feel like he's a threat. His team is not he's not scary at all. So once again, would like to come up against him in the playoffs. I think with the week 12 matchup between Guru and QP, it could be a bit of a bloodbath. I don't know. That's just what my feeling is, but not a scary team. What I like about QP, there's one thing in particular that I really like, and that is his quarterback, Jared Goff. Now, having Jared Goff on your team is like a massive tick in the Guru books. He is the best quarterback in the league, perhaps the best quarterback that the NFL has ever seen in the history of its existence. He might struggle sometimes when it's a little cold and the roof is off, but not to worry, most of the time the roof is on. Detroit Lions get some home finals and we're on a deep playoff push. So yes, big plus for having Jared Goff. Dislike about QP, team is boring, nothing much going on. Like, imagine having Pitts, Waddle and Ginty on your team and having to watch them play and root for them. It's just not how fantasy should be played. You should be having players on your team that are exciting on winning teams so you enjoy and you get the thrill from watching. Like, imagine every Monday morning you wake up and you have to put on Kyle Pitts and hope he gets 2 catches. It just cannot be fun. I don't like it. I don't like the team. Coming in at number 7, we have Coconut 69. Now, Coconut has 6 wins on the season. Fantasy Pros gives his roster a 7.1, and his Juju is 5, which is actually quite good for Coconut. And that gives a total Guru score of 18.1. Now, Guru would say that Coconut had probably over the last few years quite bad juju by not coming to drafts, not being active, not doing punishments. He's known by the league as being probably the weakest link as a team member up until now. And also, if he didn't fluke his way to this championship last year and win that, he probably wouldn't even be in the league. But you can't kick out someone that's just won the championship. But this year, Coconut has turned that around, and we love to see it. The rankings given by Coconut were top tier rankings. We are going back to the core of why the rankings exist in the first place, and that is just to roast the other teams. No one could do it just like Kiza. But also, I feel like he didn't really know anything else that was going on with the league, so all he could do would take little jabs at each other. But I love to see it. I love to see the aggressiveness. I love to see him chirp up in the chat every now and then, stand up for himself. So he's sitting around that mid-tier, but with some wins, we could see Coconut actually in the playoffs again, which would be a crazy, crazy thought. Imagine if he wins back-to-back championships. Crazy. Coming in at number 6, and in my opinion, the worst team in the league as a whole franchise in general, we have Pancake Boys. 7 wins on the year. Fantasy Pros gives the roster, hurts me to say this, but a perfect 10 out of 10. But he comes in with a Juju low 3, which gives total Guru ranking score of 20. What do I like about this team? Nothing. I was going through the team. I was trying to itch in every last crevice of my brain to find something positive to say about this team that I like, and no, I could not find anything. I just think that as a franchise, Pancake Boys is arrogant, is too cocky, and if I must say it, I actually feel like he is a wannabe guru. That's it, I said it. I think Pancake Boys looks at peak guru in the back-to-back years, and that is what he wants to be, and he's trying too hard to be like Guru. He needs to find his own identity. You don't need to be like Guru, you need to be like Pancake Boys. But I just don't know what it is about this team. He's just the commissioner that does help the league run, and he's always on the ball of answering questions and putting through trades and doing all the things the commissioner does. But I think it's getting to his head a little bit too much, and he's getting too arrogant, and now he's self-adopted the name The Enforcer. He's like a reincarnated Hitler, and I'm just not a fan of what's going on. I think the league would be a better place if Pancake Boys missed out on playoffs, which is what I think could happen this year. What I dislike about the team, overrated, really only has CMC and May, and they're both old, and well, not May, but CMC is old and will break down any second, and as soon as that happens, he's gone. May is overrated on the Pats. Shit team. I don't like him as a quarterback. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about Pancake Boys. I'm going to leave it here and just pray to the gods that something happens and he misses out on playoffs. Now coming in at number 5, we have the rookie tight end premium. 6 wins on the year, 7.3 roster strength, and a Juju score of 8, which gives total of 21.3. Now Juju score of 8 is quite good. It's one of the best in the league, and he has earned that. One, by being the rookie, you automatically get a beginner's boost. We saw that with whatever his name was. What was his name? What was his team name? I can't remember. But my brother Daniel, we saw his first Mummy Milkers, the Milking Mummies. His first year in the league, he got the beginner boost, and that carried him quite far through playoffs. Or maybe it's his second, I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is you get the boost for being a new member. He is quite reasonable to talk to, at least from my own personal experiences. The trades that we have done have been very fair and seem to go through without any problems, which is what you like to see. One of the things I really like about Titan Premium is he has created an identity for himself and he's stuck to it. By drafting so many Titans on draft night and everyone making fun of him, instead of taking it like a victim and playing like a little pussy, something that we probably would have seen Pancake Boys or even TPU do. Instead, he owns it. He starts as many Titans as he can and is just fully gone on that Titan Premium, even having his name Titan Premium. We just love to see it. We love a good identity that's authentic to oneself. It is great to see in the league, and it is working, as he has put up many points If he doesn't get in on wins, he most likely is going to get into playoffs on the 6th place points scored, which is an incredible accomplishment. There's also one more thing I like about his team, and it is he has the best running back in the league, Gibbsy. Now, Gibbsy, Sonic, whatever you call him, started on Guru, #1 pick in the league, and it is beautiful to see the tight end premium making the right trades to end up with Gibbs on his team that can win him on any day of the week. Big class. And the dislike I have is maybe a little bit too nice. I would like to see a little bit more aggression, a little bit more taking shots at people, just causing a little bit more chaos in the league. I feel like he's playing it a little bit safe at the moment. I think that's, if I was to pick out a fault, I would just want to see a little bit more anger by Titan Premium, but doing very, very good. Now coming in at number 4, we have KKK. 7 wins on the season, roster score of 9.9, and a Juju of 5, giving him a 21.9 Guru score. Now the Juju at 5, I don't know what it is about KKK. Like, I have done some trades with him and they work. He seems to be like an okay member of the league. He's always talking, but there's just something this season about KKK that seems a little bit off. I think he maybe thinks he is too good for the league, and maybe that he is better than everyone else. I know that there was a situation a few weeks ago where we were in the middle of trade talks, and then he didn't reply for 4 days and then wanted to put the trade through. But by that time, so many things had happened, so many injuries, so many other circumstances, that I decided to not go ahead with the trade. And he had a little bit of a passive comment to make about that. And I don't know, that comment didn't sit well with me when he was the one that left it for so long anyway. I don't know, there's a little bit of a stink on KKK. I don't know what it is. What I like about KKK is he has Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Detroit Lions, big plus, one of the best wide receivers of all time, could go down as the greatest of all time, and he could win you on any given week. I think he's going to finish this season super strong and could carry KKK to a top 2 spot. And then the dislike is what I touched on already. I think he just thinks he's a bit too cool KKK. And it is not classy, and it doesn't come off that well. So if you want to get that Juju up, you need to be humble. You need to come back to your roots. We are all human. We are all equal. You are not better than anyone else, even though you might think that. So let's just see what happens there, Mr. Cool Guy. Okay, now coming in top 3 now. Number 3, we have Gang Rape. Gang Rape has 6 wins on the year. Fantasy roster score of 8.3, which is good, and Juju of 8, giving him a total ranking of 22.3, which is good enough for top 3. Now, he has a very strong Juju because he trades lots, but trades a consistent, and most of the time you can usually come to a fair place after the negotiations happen. Yes, always you have the high ball and low ball and it's back and forth, but it usually ends up well, and he is not scared to pull the trigger if it looks like it could be of value. Where we have a lot of teams that are just scared to trade because they don't want to come off worse than the trade. Gang Rape, not like that. He is happy just to be like, yes, this makes sense, let's just do it, let's just do it, let's just do it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But what it does is it makes the gods happy, and it can reward you when it matters most. Now, what I have for Gang Rape, I also like the donations to Guru. I feel like when we trade, Guru always ends up happy with the trade. That's nice. I hope it feels like a win-win. But thank you for making trades with Guru feel very nice. Dislike, no quarterback. That is a problem. You cannot be starting Flacco consistently in playoffs. There's nothing really going on. There was a few times where I wanted to trade a quarterback and you didn't want it, but I feel like you cannot be running this situation, and you also have no running backs either. Derrick Henry is your only running back right now. I think Bucky Irving will come back this week or next week. That makes White useless. You cannot run with one running back. Derrick Henry as well could go twang any second, and then what, you're screwed. So the team has a lot there to take it to the long way in the championship, but there's just a few inconsistencies around the quarterback and running back that just scare me a little bit and could collapse the whole team. Okay, top 2. Coming in at number 2, we have second year Battle Pimp. Now Battle Pimp has 8 wins on the year, fantasy roster score of 8.1, and a juju of a nice 7, which gives him a total ranking of 23.1. Now Battle is a good team. We like Battle Pimp. I feel like everyone in the league quite likes him. You have to respect the hustle and the wins, and the team is strong, the team is good, so you can't knock that. And he goes about his things quite well. He's his second year in the league. I feel like he learned enough about how the league kind of works in the first year, and he must be quite smart. I think he's learned from what he's learned. I think he has implemented it into his strategy and his team building and his trading, and I think that Battle Pimp could go quite a long way. Some would say probably the favorite. He just has that like second year swag, and I like his attitude. He has a good attitude that pleases the fantasy gods. He's doing everything right. Build a good team, have good scores, and then from there just be the good person, improve the juju, make the gods happy so they can look after you in playoffs. He's learning. People don't usually learn about juju and the impact of juju until their 5th, 6th, maybe 7th season. To see him in the second year already understand what it takes to make a champion and what the fantasy gods like and how important that is, quite good to see. The only dislikes that I have for Battle Pimp is Justin Jefferson. His eyes are too close together and he gives me heebie-jeebies when I look at him. Also, the Detroit Lions plays on this team, and that makes my heart hurt a little bit because this team could win a championship this year, but you cannot do that with not one Detroit Lions player. Even if you pick up like Isaac Tesla and have him on the bench, or just someone like that can just sit there and give you the positive juju to win a championship, that is the only thing that will stop Battle Pimp this year. And then we have number 1. No surprises here. Is the greatest team that the league has ever seen. We have the Fantasy Guru. 6 wins on the year, which is okay. 7.5 Fantasy Pros roster strength, which is also not bad. It's pretty good. But where Guru always comes in strong is with Juju, 10 out of 10. Which gives a total score of 23.5, and that is enough to make Guru number 1 in this week's power rankings. Now, the juju of 10 is because consistency to pleasing the gods. You can't just come in for one season and be like, oh, I'm TPU, I now understand I pissed the gods off and I need to make amends for that. That takes time. It takes consistently over years pleasing the gods by being a good league member, having faith in your team, understanding to trust the process, making trades when you have to, not being a pussy about it, calling out shit behavior, and just not being someone that gets walked all over. Now that is Guru. Guru will always call out Pancake Boys for being a gimp, will always call out teams like Frankston Shadis for not being good and just being a nuisance to the league. So all these things make Guru someone that you want to have in the league. And we know that Guru has potential. Back-to-back champion, the only team that has the back-to-back champion. And what can you say? He just has a legacy in the league greater than any other team and could go on to add to the trophy cabinet this year. Biggest likes about the team. We have 2 Lions, not including defense. We have Waymo Jamo. He is the best wide receiver in the league. Now that Dan Campbell is coming back to calling the play calls, he could go off for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns every night. He is the number 1 receiver in the league and an underrated gem right now. And then we have also the Meatball Monty, maybe being underutilized a little bit right now, but he still gets good touches, can score touchdowns, and 1 twang to Gibbs, and he is going to be RB1. We also have the Detroit Lions defense that just gives a plus against everywhere. Aiden Hutchinson is the absolute man. He is like Thor. The gods are happy, and the thing that we like most about Guru is he does not give up. Things were looking very, very bleak. Maybe 1-3, 1-4. Started the year not good. Everyone writing out Guru. It can't happen. And then the last like 6-7 weeks gone bang, 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 bang. Many wins, even when he loses, like he loses to KKK, but still puts up 160 plus points. It is the hottest team in the league at the moment, and trading the right players at the right time to keep getting wins. So we know the recipe, we know what needs to be done. It is just win out from here the rest of the games, and Guru will find himself in playoffs, and that's a position you want to be in. What a historic run we're seeing. I think everyone in the league would agree that the playoffs and the league is best when Guru is sitting in the top 6. So let's just hope that that happens. Everyone rooting for the Guru win, so hopefully with everyone behind it, pushing the juju to the gods, they come through and give us all what we want. So there we go. That is the Guru rankings for 2025 week 12. But as I said, we have one more little surprise for you, and that is now that we are at the back end of the year, we have a good idea of what the playoffs might look like. So Guru has gone ahead, looked into his crystal ball, and given us a playoff prediction. So let's have a look at that now. So what we've done is we've gone through the remaining 3 games in the year for every team. So we have week 12, week 13, and week 14. And then we have playoffs. Why is this password incorrect? So if we look at the last games, we have Battle Pimp going 3-0, KKK going 3-0, Guru going 3-0, Tight End Premium going 2-1 with the only loss coming to Guru, Gang Rape going 2-1 with the only loss coming to Tight End Premium. Pancake Boy is going 1-2. Thank God he plays TPU, because he could have easily gone 0-3 if he didn't come up against TPU. We have Quince's Pats going 1-2. Only win coming against Shardis. Very easy win. We have Coconut 69 going 1-2. Once again, only win coming against the Shardis. And then we have Shardis himself, 0-3, not going to get another win for the rest of the season, which would take his loss streak to -7. 7 losses in a row to end the season. Oh my God, Shardis is in shambles. TPU finishes quite strong, 2-1, and then we have both BB and Falcon not winning another game for the rest of the year, and so you can see the final win count here. So if you go ahead and take that win count, we can see what the final standings will look like. I don't know the math too much on head-to-head or what happens there, so we're just going to look at it, and I am going to go off the points scored, as that will give us a good judge. We can see the top 6 teams. Battle Pimp first, KKK second, Guru third, Titan Premium fourth, Gang Rape number 5, and then that means Pancake Boys slips in for the highest record at number 6, and we have QP just missing out on playoffs even though he gets 8 wins. So now we go and we look at the playoff bracket. Once again, this is 100% factually correct, so if you do not want to know what happens at the end of the year, I would turn this off now and let it be a surprise. If you don't mind and you want to see the results, then I will tell you now. So in the first elimination finals, we have Guru destroying Pancake Boys and Titan Premium beating Gang Rape. And then we move into the semi-finals. We have Guru versus KKK. Guru comes away with a slight victory. And then Battle Pimp versus Titan Premium. Battle Pimp is the better team on the day, comes out with the win. Then we go to the championship game. So yes, we have Guru versus Battle Pimp for the championship. And I think we all know what happens here. We just have to look at the Juju scores for both teams. Guru with a 10. If you have a 10 Juju, you cannot lose the championship game. So there we have it. Your fantasy champion for the season is the Fantasy Guru. There we go. Sorry for the ruining the surprise, but everyone must be so happy to know that that happens. Anyway, league, keep trading well. Good luck to you all. For the teams that will make the playoffs, hope you have the best time and enjoy the journey, because you might not make it back for many years. And then a message to Franks and Shardies and Pancake Boys. I hope you suffer the end of the season and never win another playoff game ever again. Marichka Hagite.